Playing Call of Duty solo is rough, and if you're gonna do it, the game is gonna give you teammates that sometimes might as well be useless. But instead of just blaming skill-based matchmaking or anything like that, let's dive into what makes a bad teammate so that you can both avoid doing these things to your teammates so that maybe this endless cycle of misery I've been dealing with for the last 15 years can end. So we've all had run-ins with bad teammates, players that the game randomly dictates should be on our team in order to win the match, but they are people that have no idea what goes into winning a match. So it's important to remember that individual actions change the course of a match. It's not purely skill level. Just being good is often not enough. And usually if you're a slightly above average player, you're making decisions, and a lot of the times you get frustrated with your team is that they're not. I have lost games for my team because even though I was playing well, I wasn't playing correctly. So don't think that this video is coming from any point of superiority. I am not atop any high horse. If I didn't make these same mistakes myself, I wouldn't know what they looked like, so I wouldn't know how to talk about them. So let's try to be better than me and get to the root cause of what it means to be a bad teammate. I've divided this into about 8 central topics, and we're gonna start with number 1, and this is about interrupting lines of fire. Call of Duty makes it very easy, especially in core mode, to see where enemies are shooting from. One of the main reasons it feels like a teammate is being unhelpful to you in a gunfight is that a lot of players don't think about interrupting lines of fire, which essentially boils down to when you see tracers and rounds flying through the air at your teammate, you prioritize finding the source of those tracers and eliminating the threat. And it should be pretty easy because the threat should be preoccupied with shooting your teammate unless you wait too long and they can sight in on the other target, which that would be you. So essentially what I'm saying is, so many of the gunfights where you're like, hey, teammate, where the hell were you? It's because they don't feel comfortable interrupting the line of fire. You're taking fire, you are in a firefight, and they will watch you until you die from a safe position to then move in and think, okay, well now it's my turn, instead of seeing the action and wanting to interrupt it as fast as possible. Like if you're in a power position right now, picture shooting at an enemy player and then their teammate sprints out from behind a piece of cover and immediately starts zeroing you while you're killing someone else. That, at the very least, if it's done right, is gonna be a trade for their team. You might get the kill you're getting, but they're gonna kill you because they wanna interrupt your line of fire. And if you unprioritize the person you're already shooting for the new person, you still might only get one of the kills. That's the position you want to put the enemy in. You want to put them in a position where they can't kill both of you, and they're going to be interrupted potentially in the middle of the kill they're trying to get. So don't be scared. If they're shooting at your teammate, they're not shooting at you, so go interrupt them. Then we have kill feed awareness. This is something I've talked about for years, and sometimes, not to self-victimize, it feels like something only the enemy team does because of how often my teammates miss out on simple kill trades, when there's a fairly detailed log of what's happening in the match on the side of the screen. It's simple. You hear gunshots, you check the minimap. If you see a teammate disappear, you check the kill feed for information. Use this to pinpoint the engagement details before hunting down the enemy who killed your teammate. I've said this for years. If you see a blue triangle go into a room, you hear a suppressed shotgun go off, and then you see that booty smasher 35 killed your teammate with a shotgun in the kill feed, there's probably a guy with a shotgun in the room. So just minimap, sounds, kill feed, do the math, it's easy. And if you see somebody going off and feeding your team and just getting kill after kill, pay attention to the name. If that name doesn't show up on the got killed side of the kill feed, that person's still alive. You need to pay attention to the area you know they're in because you should be looking at the minimap and seeing it, hey, this person just deleted 4 blue triangles off my minimap. And if you're gonna approach that area, just know that somebody with enough gun skill to kill all 4 of your teammates in a row is over there, and you need to approach it with caution and stop feeding that person streaks. Number 3 is incredibly simple, nades on B. This is one of the most simple things to implement, and yet I see more and more, it feels like every year, this not happening. Like since Modern Warfare 2019, players have stopped doing this and it blows my mind. And when I'm capturing flags, it's not even happening to me. So you all suck at this. If you see an enemy is taking an objective, throw frags and Simtexes and Molotovs and thermites and whatever it is on the objective. This used to be so common in Call of Duty. The moment everybody hears enemy taking B, they all practice their pitch and toss a frag in that direction. Like, it used to be uncanny. You used to, like, start taking B, and suddenly you have 7 grenade indicators around you. You do not need to slowly approach or sprint at an enemy taking an objective. You have frag grenades, use them. And then we have number 4, smoke them. And here it's also very simple. If you see your team is struggling to take an objective, toss a smoke on it, whether it's a hard point or a bomb site or a domination flag. Throw smoke. It forces enemies to engage with you differently. It puts a wrench in their plan. You can also throw smoke at power positions so that the enemy can't look at the flag from the power position they're in. The problem is that a lot of you guys will throw smoke randomly and then the enemy can use it too. So don't throw smoke in areas where the enemy could move in and use your smoke to take the objective. And do not smoke an objective you already have, for fuck's sake. Number 5 is shooting down streaks. Now, I don't do this as often as I should, but hell, I'll say it anyway. If you're not playing the objective very well, you're losing most of your gunfights, you're not earning streaks for your team, then let's assume that you want to win the game and you want to be a helpful teammate. So you're going to equip a launcher on your next death, and/or is a very important part, more like equip some FMJ and start blasting away at streaks. If you can at least remove CUAVs, UAVs, choppers, etc., you'll be helping out a ton and pissing off the enemy team at the same time. If you want a really easy way to piss off the enemy team, there's nothing more annoying than calling in a UAV and immediately hearing enemies have destroyed your UAV. I would say the ratio of effort required to how much it pisses off the enemy team is well in the favor of shooting down streaks. Shooting down the streaks is the most effective way to piss people off with the least amount of effort required. Number 6, look in opposite directions. Another simple one. If you're taking an objective or holding a location that has multiple access points, you need to check whatever angle your nearby teammate isn't checking. You both do not need to be eyes forward on the B flag, knock it off. This is the most irritating thing. I'll be capturing B, you guys have watched my live streams, I'll be capturing B, and I'll be like, hey teammates, where are you at? And then they show up, oh thank God, and they look in the same direction I've already been looking in. I'm already pre-aiming an angle, and I'll have a teammate sit next to me aiming in the same area. I can't believe it. Even if you're just playing a hardcore TDM, if you're camping in a room and you see that a teammate is watching a hallway, you don't also need to watch that hallway until you hear gunfire. This feels so simple, and yet I think most players miss this because they either want to steal your kill or want to bait you. So like, oh, if you die, then I'll kill whoever killed you. This kind of goes back to number 1, interrupting lines of fire. They're not really interested in helping you survive. They're interested in, if you fail, I'll be here. And if you want to be a good teammate, cover the other angle or interrupt the line of fire once it starts, but do not just stare at the same hallway your buddy is. Okay, and now number 7. Now, this isn't the last one, but it is the most important, and I didn't want to wait till the end to get to it. So knowing your role. This is the biggest tip I could give any new player, even some veterans looking to improve their game. Your class and weapon comes with a role, and even more importantly, your location comes with a role. If you're doing flanking and rushing tactics without Ghost, without Ninja, running a large mag AR, you're annoying. If you built your class for doing quick flanks, then go for it, but if you have a large mag AR with an optic, you need to be locking down locations and power positions. If you play ranked play for one match and you have an AR and you start rushing down certain lanes and going for trades, people are going to yell at you. In ranked, it's very simple. If you have an SMG, you're going for trades, and if you have an AR, you are locking down positions. It's obviously there's more nuance to it than that, but your job is attached to the gun you're choosing to run in that role. And that's just one dumb example. This topic is so massive I could make a whole other video about it, and I might. But you can see all of the possibilities if you think about it long enough. Take that small example and expand that to a larger concept. What am I running? Where am I gonna be with what I'm running? And that's my role. That is a large concept that is hard to fit into just a section in this video. I see people rushing with LMGs, camping power positions with 30-round mags and no optic, and people hopping on the objective with a bolt-action sniper, or holding lanes with SMGs, like doing like pre-aiming on a long like bridge or something on like Lowtown with an SMG. And it's like, okay, yeah, every player and map is different. There are no hard and fast rules. Some SMGs are better for certain things. Sometimes you can rush with an LMG if you have it built right. I know. I am not trying to say that if you do blank, it's bad. I am using myopic examples to instill a greater sense of the concept. If you're in a power position on a map like Scud, I expect you to be taking out people from that power position and not just getting into pissing contests with a sniper. If you're gonna overlook the B flag, I expect you to defend the B flag. If I see you with an LMG, I expect you to maybe, I don't know, pre-aim and mow people down and not try to go into these quick draw cowboy engagements with it. I mean, if you want to challenge SMG users with your 300 millisecond sprint out time, go for it. And I hate to sound like a nerd, but that's just not what that gun's supposed to do. Knowing your role and establishing what your role in the match is, in the moment is so good for getting game sense and becoming just better at the game and being a better teammate. But the reason that tip isn't my last tip, even though I think it's the most complex and interesting and the one I want to hop into the most, the next one is what all of this is contingent on. So number 8 is speed and assertiveness. Even a new player will see massive benefits to their gameplay if they take definitive action in situations. Make a decision and move fast. I'm not saying being a sweaty movement god where you're slide canceling everywhere and trying to play like optic shotsy or whatever. No, but you need to make a plan and you need to have a loadout designed to carry out that plan. And when I say be fast and assertive, what I mean is that being slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you only have to do it once, if you're doing it deliberately, if you're doing it with focus, that matters more. You want to be assertive, you want to be quick, but I don't mean sprinting at things like a crazy person. I mean when you are moving towards a flag, you know what you're going to do. When you have a gun equipped and you're locking down a location, you know what your goal is and you know what you're trying to achieve. Fast in the context of a first-person shooter, in my opinion, comes down to knowing what you want to do and then acting out that plan. That could be done slowly, but you just need to do it without hesitation. That's what fast means. Fast does not mean rushing. Fast means no hesitation. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Having to do it once is better than rushing in and dying multiple times versus rushing in smart. Like, it's slower to throw a concussion grenade into a room with a camper, stun them, then move in and shoot them, but that's smooth. That is gonna cover more variables. That is gonna allow you to just kill the guy once instead of risking dying multiple times to the same guy. So don't rush, but be fast, be assertive. You have to be aggressive even when you're camping. You're supposed to pre-fire, chase dots, read that minimap, read that kill feed, look towards areas of fire, throw grenades towards objectives, throw grenades before you hop on objectives, interrupt the lines of fire, blow up streaks, do it with conviction. If you fail to overwhelm your opponents then, given enough time, will just overwhelm you instead. You want to be constantly moving towards a moment-to-moment goal. You have to remember this over everything. If your immediate actions have definitive goals, why you're walking into a room, why you're equipping this weapon, why you're on the B flag, if your actions have definitive goals, you will be 3 steps ahead of the average COD player. And I just might be okay with having you on my team if you're able to establish just an assertive intent towards the enemies. And anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I at least, turned a couple gears in your head. If not about Call of Duty, then maybe about something else. And if you enjoyed this video at all, please leave a like rating and use the links in the description to support the channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified because I do live stream on this channel. And if you like the sound of my voice, thanks. That makes me, I'm blushing. Bye.